I think the key here is to recognize that in spite of all the disruption that's already happened in the travel industry, there's still so much more to come. There's so much about travel today that's inconvenient, that we don't know about until we get there. We're not treated as individuals yet. And so the opportunity for more disruption, I think, is extraordinary.
The real opportunity is to change that thinking where hospitality represents a much broader spectrum of sectors, businesses, opportunities than simply just hotels. The quality of education so far has been unable to keep up with the changes that the industry has gone through. And unless you can make the academic learning of the students synchronized with the changes in the industry, you're not going to be able to bring in better talent. The industry connect is a key, and providing an education which is relevant to the industry is also a key, and that's what's really been missing in hospitality education here.
I think what's so important today is making sure, particularly in India, that there are outside influences both in education and in business. The legacy of Indian history in business is to be isolated, and I think what's happened in the last 25 and 30 years is progressive opening to the outside world. And it's really this intersection between ideas from other places, local relevance, local ingenuity, local entrepreneurship that creates a basis for a vibrant business community. And I think we're starting to see that more and more here in the Indian business environment, and I think that's going to be the source of so much growth as we look ahead into the future.
Well, I think the first thing I'll say is that I don't think they should be expecting to know what they might be doing 10 years from now. Their expectation should be that at the end of this education, when I'm a graduate, the world will be my oyster and the opportunities will be limitless. The moment anybody, not just students, when you see choices, you're able to be smarter about the choices you make. If you go back to our generation and our times, and you know this, our parents thought that if you weren't a doctor, engineer, or lawyer, really what other professions are there? And that change is reflected in this generation.
And what I really like about hospitality education is it's very hands-on. It's not theoretical, it's practical, it's real-time. So while you're learning about hospitality, you're learning about business in general. Most hospitality businesses are multi-local environments, which means they're medium to small businesses in many locations. So you get the full view of not just what's happening in corporate, but how are we dealing with customers? What does finance look like? How are we doing human resources? What does the back office look like? It's a very complete education. And I think also, particularly now in India, with the growth in travel, both the rising middle class here in India, but also the growing interaction and international travel that's happening, this is a growth industry. And the great thing about the hospitality business is it's a business where people come in at entry levels and there's so many opportunities to grow. So I remember so many stories from my time working in hospitality of people starting at very junior roles, and really the sky was the limit to the level they could reach. And so I think this is a very exciting time to be studying hospitality and thinking of different ways of applying it and looking at the opportunities that lie ahead. One of the things that I think is really exciting about the ISH right now is I see it as a disruptor in the hospitality education space. And what I mean by that is a new player with a different way of thinking about teaching and learning and facilitating learning. And I've been a student of disruption since I was a CEO, and in the time after that, looking at companies and businesses.
We want to make sure that students are indeed equipped with the required academic skills. But if you think about it, in today's world, the need for life skills which are actually going to last you a lifetime. Traditionally in India, you get an education to get a job. I think education needs to become a means in itself. And that's what excites me about disrupting or transforming education, at least in the hospitality area. Life skilling, soft skilling, social skilling, has as much relevance as academic skilling. And I think if we can make that difference, we would indeed be an agent for both disruption and transformation for the tourism and hospitality industry for sure, but I think for this young new generation as well.